Okay, so a lot of people have asked me to make a modding tutorial for Ultrakill, which apparently is a thing people want. So here we are. There are two different ways you can mod Ultrakill. You can either use R2Modman, or you can do it manually. I'm going to show you how to do it both ways, but I would recommend, if you don't know what you're doing, to use R2Modman, because it's very easy. It's just one-click installs for every mod. You can download all dependencies with a simple button. It's just a lot easier, but I don't use it personally because I'm just weird like that. So anyway, starting with R2Modman, what you need to do is we're going to go through every step here. Every step. You need to go and download R2Modman. It's this link here, R2Modman Thunderstore, whatever. And then you very simply just click manual download. And then you wait for it to download. Once the file is downloaded, you're going to want to go to your files, go to your downloads or wherever you downloaded it to, and then you want to unzip the file, either with 7-zip or WinRAR or whatever you want to use. And then you want to go into the folder and run R2Modman setup. And then in the setup, you just click next, install, it'll install itself wherever. It's not really that important. You can just search for it in Windows Search whenever you want to open it. Once it's installed, just click finish and it will automatically open R2. Once again, if you really want to find it, just search for R2Modman in Windows Search. It's that easy. Once you're in R2, you're going to want to search for Ultrakill because it will come up with so many games. You can then set game as default or click the start to favorite the game so you don't have to search for it every time. Then you want to select game, select profile, and go to online mods. Now what you need to do is you need to get Bepin X-Pack. You want to download it with dependencies, wait for it to install, and then start modded. And then you wait for Ultrakill to load. If you can see a command prompt window flash, that's a good sign, that means it's working. Once Ultrakill loads, you just want to close the game. And that's all you need to do. It's that easy. If you want to install mods, you just got to go online, find mods that you like, say Ultra Coins, you hit the download button, you download with dependencies, and that's it. That's all you need. You can start modded, and it should be downloaded. I think it might have worked. I don't know, it might have worked. Now there is some things to be careful of when using R2. A lot of mods, at least older ones, use something called Ultrakill Mod Manager, which hasn't worked for a year and a half. And any mods that still need Ultrakill Mod Manager just won't work. So if something doesn't work, it's probably because it needs Ultrakill Mod Manager. Another thing you need to be careful of is if a mod is a plugin. If it's a plugin, it might appear in plugin config, except sometimes it doesn't. There really isn't like a standardized way that these mods work. Ultra Coins appears in plugin config, and you can change a bunch of things about the mod right here. But there are also different separate configurators for other mods. It's on a mod by mod basis. It's confusing. I know, it sucks, but that's just what we gotta deal with. So that's all you really need to know about modding Ultrakill using R2Modman. So next, I'm going to go over how you mod Ultrakill manually by dragging and dropping the files into your game. So first, you need to go to Steam, you need to go to Ultrakill, go to your settings, go to Manage, and then go to Browse Local Files, and you should come up with this. We're just going to leave that open for now. We're going to leave that open. We're not going to do anything with it. Then you want to go and look for Bepin X-Pack, and then you want to click the first link. And then you want to manually download the file. Once it's downloaded to wherever you download it, open your downloads folder and the Ultrakill folder, unzip Bepin X-Pack. Once you've extracted the folder, you should be left with this. Open it. Open this Bepin X-Pack folder, and take this, drag it in to your Ultrakill folder. And then you want to run the game. Again, if the command prompt window shows up, that's a good sign. That means it's working. Now just close your game. And if we look in our Ultrakill folder, there is a BepInEx folder here. Open it, and you will see Cache, Config, Core, Patches, Plugins. All we care about is the Plugins folder. This is where we will drag and drop our files. So if we wanted to download Ultracoins again, we would look up the mod, click on the link, and then you click Manual Download. Wait for it to download. Extract the file. Open the folder. Open the plugins folder. And then drag and drop it into your Ultrakill plugins folder. Some mods will do this, where you open the mod folder and it will tell you this is plugins. And then you drag what's in the plugins folder into your plugins folder. Some mods are good like that. Others will just have the file, or it'll be under a different named folder. This is why I recommended to use R2Modman if you're not too familiar with modding, because it can be a bit of a pain to figure out where you need to drag and drop what folders. Another reason why I recommend R2Modman is because we don't have any dependencies installed. Ultracoins is dependent on you already having plugin configurator installed, which we don't have. So to make Ultracoins work, we'll need to go and install plugin configurator. Once again, you download the file, you click manual download. You extract the folder. You take the plugins folder, you drag and drop it into plugins. Plugin configurator is what's used for most mods, but again, some need other things, which is why I recommend using R2Modman. Now we run Ultrakill, and if you've done everything correctly, under options, there will now be plugin config at the top with Ultracoins inside of it. And then you can drag and drop whatever mods you wish into your plugins folder. So that's a pretty simple and quick overview on how you mod Ultrakill. I would say if you're confused, just use R2Modman. It's a lot easier in every way. But if you know what you're doing, then you can use the manual method, because then you don't have to go through R2Modman and load Ultrakill through there. You can just load the game through Steam and it will boot up all your mods right from Steam. But yeah, there you go, that's how you mod Ultrakill. Modded content soon, probably, I guess.